Stop chasing, start elevating. It's a simple line, but it holds a life-changing truth. The moment you stop chasing people, whether it's someone you loved, someone who left you, or someone who took you for granted, you take the power back. Chasing is rooted in desperation. It's built on the hope that if you just try harder, love more, explain better, or show them how much you care, they'll stay. But that's not how real connection works. The more you chase, the more you confirm to them that they can walk away and still have access to you. The more you plead, the more they sit comfortably in the belief that you'll always be available, no matter how they treat you. But when you stop chasing, you shift the focus back to where it belongs, on yourself. Elevation isn't about revenge or getting back at someone. It's about realizing that your value is not determined by how someone else receives you. Your worth is not up for negotiation based on someone else's ability to recognize it. When you stop chasing, you allow space for clarity. You begin to see who actually values you and who only stuck around because you made it easy. You stop trying to fit yourself into spaces that were never meant for you. You stop shrinking your needs just to keep someone else comfortable. You stop proving yourself and you start honoring yourself. Elevation looks like healing without needing an apology. It looks like taking yourself out on a date instead of waiting for someone to invite you. It looks like hitting the gym, starting that project, launching that business, and feeding your soul with purpose instead of pain. When you elevate, you no longer seek validation, you become the validation. You don't just talk about boundaries, you enforce them. You stop wondering if they'll come back and you start being grateful that you now have room for something real. You realize you don't need closure from them because your healing doesn't depend on someone else's accountability. The truth is, the ones you chase rarely value the chase. It's only when you walk away, when you go silent, when you become distant, not out of anger, but out of growth, that people start to feel the weight of your absence. They remember the energy you brought, the peace you gave, the love you offered, and suddenly the person who took you for granted begins to realize what they lost, but by then, you're no longer waiting. You're no longer hoping. You're not sitting around checking your phone. You've elevated. Elevation means that you no longer compete for attention. You attract it by being exactly who you are. It means that you're too focused on your goals to entertain disrespect. It means that your energy is too valuable to be wasted on people who only come around when it's convenient. When you stop chasing, your whole posture changes. You walk differently. You speak with purpose. Your peace is no longer negotiable. Your time is no longer cheap. You begin to attract people and opportunities that reflect the respect you have for yourself. So stop chasing. Not because you're bitter. You've got bigger dreams than explanations. You've got more healing than heartbreak. You've got places to go that don't include the people who doubted you. Start elevating. And as you rise, you'll find that the ones who truly deserve to be in your life will meet you at your level, or they'll get left behind watching you soar. Silence is power. Not everyone understands that at first. In a world where people rush to respond, defend, and prove themselves, silence feels uncomfortable. It feels like weakness. But the truth is, silence is one of the strongest, most effective responses you can give when someone wrongs you, doubts you, or underestimates you. Silence is the language of self-respect. It's not about avoiding confrontation. It's about choosing your peace over chaos. It's about realizing that not every battle is worth fighting, and not every insult needs a comeback. When you remain silent, you're not ignoring the pain. You're controlling the outcome. You're saying, I won't let this shake me. Silence gives you the space to reflect before you react. It protects you from saying something in anger that you'll later regret. It allows you to rise above the noise, to observe instead of overreact, and to choose maturity over emotion. People often mistake silence for indifference, but in reality it's wisdom. It takes strength to hold your tongue, to walk away from what doesn't serve you, and to choose calm over chaos. When someone walks out on you, treats you like you're replaceable, or tries to hurt you with words or actions, silence can be your sharpest response. It sends a clear message. I am not available for games. I don't need to convince you of my worth. I don't have to explain why you lost me. People expect drama. They expect to be chased. They expect a reaction. When you give them none of that, just your absence and your peace, it shakes them. Because silence forces them to sit with themselves. No explanations, no closure, just space to think. And that silence gets louder the longer it lasts. Powerful people understand the value of quiet. You don't need to announce your every move. You don't need to let everyone know how you feel. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is keep it moving in silence. Heal in silence. Build in silence. So, level up in silence. Let the results speak. Because the truth is, when you keep talking, you're giving energy to the very thing that tried to break you. When you're silent, you starve it. You reclaim control. In relationships, silence can be your protection. When someone mistreats you and you stop responding, not because you don't care, but because you respect yourself too much to argue, it creates distance. And in that distance, they begin to realize that they no longer have access to you. You're not emotionally available to someone who tried to devalue you. That's power. That's grace. That's choosing yourself without needing to make a scene. Silence also lets your energy speak for you. Your glow, your calm, your focus, all of that communicates things louder than words ever could. It says, I'm unbothered. I've moved on. I've grown. It makes people wonder what changed. It makes them curious about what you're building, how you're healing, why you're no longer reacting. And eventually it makes them realize they've lost the version of you that once tolerated what no longer aligns with your peace. Glow up is the revenge. It's not about proving a point to the person who hurt you. It's about becoming so deeply rooted in your healing, growth, and confidence that their memory becomes irrelevant. The best revenge is not bitterness, not payback, and definitely not showing them you're hurt. The best revenge is your evolution. It's waking up one day and realizing that you no longer cry over what left, that you no longer break when you hear their name, that your smile is no longer a performance. It's real and it's yours. When someone walks away thinking you won't recover, believing you'll fall apart without them, expecting you to stay stuck in heartbreak, the glow up is what silences them. You don't have to post about it. You don't have to speak on it. You just become it. I think a glow up isn't just about how you look. It's about how you carry yourself. It's the way your energy shifts. It's the way you walk into a room and command attention without saying a word. It's in the way you prioritize your peace, your goals, your growth. You start setting boundaries where there were none. You stop responding to things that once triggered you. You stop seeking closure and realize your progress is the only closure you ever needed. The glow up is the quiet transformation that happens behind closed doors when no one's watching. It's built in silence, with discipline, with patience, with choosing yourself every single day. There's something powerful about no longer needing to be seen by the person who once overlooked you. That's the core of the glow up. You don't need their validation. You don't need them to see how well you're doing. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it because you owe it to yourself. You owe it to the version of you that cried, that stayed too long, that begged for love, that forgot her worth. Every time you put yourself first, every time you choose progress over pain, every time you smile without pretending, it's a form of revenge. Not a revenge rooted in anger, but in power. The glow-up happens when you start feeding your mind with truth instead of lies. When you stop asking why they left and start asking what you learned. When you stop comparing yourself to the next person and start appreciating your own journey. You start working on your body, your finances, your dreams, not because you want to be seen, but because you want to feel free. And freedom is the foundation of the glow-up. You're no longer bound by what was. You're no longer stuck in who you were when they had access to you. You've grown, you've evolved, and that growth has made you untouchable. People notice when you change. They may not say it, but they feel it. They feel the shift in your energy when you don't react the same way. They feel the distance when you no longer try to hold conversations that don't serve you. They sense the glow when you walk with peace, confidence, and clarity. And when the glow-up is real, they'll try to come back. Not because they love you, but because they recognize they lost something rare. But here's the truth. You're not the same anymore. You've upgraded, you've elevated. You've stepped into a version of yourself that no longer needs to shrink to fit anyone's expectations. So let them watch from a distance. Let them hear about your success. Let them scroll past your joy. You don't need to prove them wrong. You just need to keep glowing, because the glow up isn't about them. It's about you finally choosing you. And that is the most powerful revenge there is. They return when they feel your absence. Not when you text them one more time. Not when you pour your heart out. Not when you beg for clarity or try to make them understand your worth. They come back when the silence gets loud, when your energy pulls away, when your presence is no longer a given in their life. Most people don't appreciate what they have until it's gone. They don't realize the comfort you brought, the light you carried, or the peace you provided, until that peace is no longer theirs to enjoy. And the moment they feel that void, that unfamiliar distance, that's when reality hits. You see, while you're caught in the pain of the breakup, they're coasting. They're used to you being around. They're used to the check-ins, the texts, the forgiveness, the effort. But the day you stop showing up, the day you stop explaining yourself, the day you choose your dignity over access, that's the day their perception starts to shift. It's not always instant. Sometimes it takes days, weeks, or even months, but eventually the space you once filled becomes undeniable. And they return, not because they've truly changed, not because they finally get it, but because your absence forced them to confront their own reflection. People don't chase what they already have access to. The moment they feel like you're always there, no matter how they treat you, they stop valuing your presence. But when you go quiet, when your love no longer cushions them, when your forgiveness is no longer guaranteed, they start to question everything. They wonder where you went emotionally. They wonder who's giving you the peace they once took for granted. They wonder if you've moved on. And that curiosity, that discomfort, it grows. They begin to notice the weight of your silence more than they ever notice the sound of your voice. But the key is, when they return, you're no longer the same. That's what makes it powerful. You didn't just disappear to make a point, you disappeared to heal. You weren't waiting in the shadows for them to come back. You were busy rebuilding your confidence, restoring your peace, and rediscovering your worth. So when they come knocking, hoping to find the version of you who would bend and break just to be loved, they're met with someone new. Someone who doesn't need validation, doesn't seek closure, and doesn't settle for halfway love. That absence, that space, it becomes your strength because it teaches you how to stand on your own. It shows you that what you were searching for in them, you can create within yourself. And the best part? You stop needing them to return. You no longer crave that text or that apology. You've evolved to a place where you're at peace with how things unfolded because you know what you bring to the table and you're not afraid to eat alone until someone comes who truly values you. So yes, they return when they feel your absence. But by the time they do, you've already found peace in your solitude. You've built something stronger than love that depends on someone else. You've built self-respect, and that's something they can't touch. They'll come back, maybe expecting to pick up where things left off, but the truth is, you've outgrown that version of you who once accepted less. And the absence they felt was just the beginning of the lesson they needed to learn. That losing you was never about what you said, it was about what you stopped saying, what you stopped giving, and how you chose to rise in their silence.